the neighbor's car. This happened to me about 3 years ago when I was living alone in a small apartment complex in rural Ohio. The kind of place where you know everyone's car, everyone's schedule. It's quiet, boring even. That's why I liked it. My neighbor across the lot, older guy, kept to himself, drove this beat-up silver sedan. I'd seen it every single day for 2 years. I knew that car the way you know your own face. One night, around 2 a.m., I couldn't sleep. I went to the kitchen to get some water, and out of habit, I glanced out the window that faces the parking lot. His car was there, lights off, normal, except there was someone sitting in it. I almost didn't notice. The lot light was dim and the figure wasn't moving, just sitting in the driver's seat, completely still, facing forward. I figured maybe my neighbor had come home late and just hadn't gotten out yet. So I watched for a minute. The figure didn't move. I went back to bed, told myself it was nothing. At around 3:30, I woke up to use the bathroom, and out of this weird compulsion, I looked out the window again. The figure was still there. Same position, perfectly still. That's when my stomach dropped, because I suddenly remembered. My neighbor had told me 2 days earlier that he was going to his sister's place for the week. He wasn't home. So whose car was that? I looked closer, and I realized it wasn't his car. It was the same make, same color, same general shape. But the bumper sticker he had, a faded little thing from some state park, wasn't there. This was a different car, parked in his spot, with someone sitting in it in the middle of the night, completely motionless, staring at the building, staring at my window. I stepped back, turned the kitchen light off, and in the darkness, I watched. The figure slowly turned their head toward where I had been standing. I don't know how they saw me. I don't know what they wanted. I called the police, and by the time an officer came by 20 minutes later, the car was gone. No plates on record. Nothing on the parking lot camera because, of course, that camera had been broken for months. I moved out 6 weeks later. To this day, I don't know what would have happened if I'd stepped outside. I don't let myself think about it too long. Story 2. She said she lived here. I'm a nurse. I work long overnight shifts, and I've seen things that should have made me unshakable. But nothing in a hospital ever scared me the way this did. I live in a house I rent with one roommate, my friend Dana. Dana works mornings, so by the time I get home around 7 a.m., she's already gone. The house is mine until the afternoon. That's my routine. I know it cold. One morning I came home from a rough shift, kicked off my shoes at the door, and went straight to the kitchen to make tea. I heard movement upstairs. Footsteps. Slow, wandering footsteps, like someone pacing. I wasn't alarmed right away. Dana occasionally calls in sick. I figured she was just moving around up there. I called out her name. The footsteps stopped. Dana. Nothing. I grabbed my phone and called her. She picked up on the second ring, from work. She'd been there since 6 a.m. She asked me if everything was okay. I told her I'd call her back. I stood at the bottom of the stairs holding a kitchen knife, listening. Silence. Complete silence from above. I thought about leaving. I should have left. But something, some idiotic protective instinct, made me go up. Don't go home. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I drove home anyway, because what else are you going to do? When I pulled into my driveway, I sat in the car for 10 minutes with the doors locked, just scanning the house, the yard, the street. Everything looked normal. I went inside, checked every room, checked the locks. Nothing. I never found an explanation. The number in my call log was, without any doubt, my own. I've told this story to people who've laughed it off. Spoofing, they say. A prank. Maybe. But sometimes I'll be driving at night on a long, quiet road, and my phone will light up, and for just a second before I look down, I feel it. That cold, crawling certainty that I already know what number is going to be on that screen. That's all for tonight. Thank you to everyone who sent in their stories.